Have you ever wondered why some people effortlessly command respect, while others get walked all over no matter how nice they are? I used to be that person who thought kindness was enough. I'd bend over backwards for everyone, avoid confrontation, and wonder why I felt invisible. Then I discovered something that completely shifted my perspective on relationships. What I'm about to share will revolutionize how you approach every relationship, especially the final technique that can solve almost any relationship problem you're facing. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Every healthy relationship requires your ability to fight for it. When I say fight, I don't mean being aggressive. I mean having the strength to stand up for yourself, set boundaries, and show others that disrespecting you has consequences. Think of your relationships like a house, and your fighting capacity as the security system. A house without security is an easy target. Burglars know they can break in without consequences. But a house with solid security, thieves think twice. The same principle applies to how people treat you. Here's a startling fact. Research shows that people who struggle to assert themselves are 60% more likely to experience workplace bullying and relationship manipulation. Why? Because predators can sense weakness instantly. From childhood, most of us were taught to be agreeable and avoid conflict. Our parents said things like, "Be nice, don't cause trouble, turn the other cheek." While these lessons came from love, they accidentally stripped us of our natural ability to defend ourselves. Picture this scenario. You're in a meeting, and your colleague takes credit for your idea. Your stomach knots up, but instead of speaking up, you sit there in silence. Later, you tell yourself you're being the bigger person. But deep down, you feel smaller and less valuable. This is what I call the good person trap. We mistake passivity for virtue and conflict avoidance for emotional maturity. But here's the brutal reality. When you refuse to fight for your worth, you're teaching others that you don't value yourself enough to defend. Let me share 3 core reasons why fighting capacity is essential for meaningful relationships. First, relationships are ongoing negotiations about boundaries and respect. If you can't negotiate because you're afraid of conflict, you'll always get the short end of the stick. Second, people test your boundaries constantly. When they discover you won't defend yourself, they lose respect for you. Third, your ability to fight back creates what I call respectful distance. Others know they need to treat you well to maintain harmony. Think of 2 countries. One has a strong military with clear consequences for aggression. The other has no defense and avoids confrontation. Which country gets more respect? Which one experiences more peace? Your fighting capacity works the same way. When people know that mistreating you will result in pushback, they naturally choose to treat you better. It's not about being mean. It's about being someone who can't be taken advantage of. Here's the beautiful irony. The more capable you are of fighting, the less you need to fight. People sense your strength and adjust their behavior accordingly. So, how do you develop this crucial ability? Here are 3 practical steps you can start implementing today. First, learn to recognize and express your anger appropriately. Anger isn't evil. It's your internal alarm system. When you feel that familiar surge of frustration, don't suppress it. Instead, pause and ask yourself what boundary is being crossed. Then communicate that boundary clearly and calmly. Second, practice small acts of self-advocacy. Start with low-stakes situations. If someone cuts in line, politely but firmly address it. If a friend consistently shows up late, have an honest conversation about how it affects you. These small moments build your confidence muscle for bigger challenges. Third, develop what I call strategic assertiveness. This means choosing your battles wisely but fighting them effectively when necessary. You don't need to fight every injustice, but you must fight the ones that matter to your core values and self-respect. Remember, developing fighting capacity isn't about becoming aggressive. It's about becoming someone who can't be easily manipulated or disrespected. It's about transforming from someone who hopes others will be nice to someone who ensures others treat you well. The most peaceful people I know aren't peaceful because they avoid conflict. They're peaceful because others know better than to mess with them. When you develop real fighting capacity, you earn the luxury of choosing kindness from a position of strength rather than weakness. This transformation won't happen overnight, and it might feel uncomfortable at first. You might worry about seeming difficult or losing relationships. But here's what I've learned. The relationships you lose by setting boundaries weren't worth keeping anyway. The ones that matter will only grow stronger. Your fighting capacity isn't just about defending yourself. It's about creating space for authentic relationships built on mutual respect rather than one-sided accommodation. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced the difference between being nice and being respected? Don't forget to subscribe to MindDoc for more psychology insights that can transform your relationships. Until next time, remember that the strongest people aren't those who never fight. They're those who know how to fight for what matters.